Ladies and gentlemen, roll tide. It's the Bama Standard post-game show. What up? You're on live with your favorite channel for Bama content. Before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You people in the chat, let's get fired up. As always, are brought to you by Workspace Solutions. I've got an all-star cast with me, and I believe you know who they are. Of course, the whole internet does. Let's go ahead and get started with Dan's big brother, Chris James. Then we got the man who a statue should be erected for at Alabama, Matt Caddell.
Yeah, keyword erected.
Yes, sir. And we got the real reason this show or this channel is popular, the man, the myth, legend, Dan James.
What's going on, everybody? Roll Tide.
And he is graduated from top fan to analyst, the ever popular Lucian. Fellas,
what's happening?
Roll Tide.
That right there is all that matters.
That's right. It's all about the script day.
All right. So
right there,
let's go ahead, jump into it, guys. I'm curious to see what you think. I mean, tale of two halves, everything that went wrong that possibly could have gone wrong happened in the first half. And it looked like an utter train wreck, but somehow Ole Miss just could not figure out a way to capitalize on any of it. And he let the tide hang around. In the second half, we came alive. So Matt's got his finger up. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started with him. Then we'll go on to Final Whistle Dan, then Chris, and Lucian. Fellas, let's do this. Matt, what's up?
I'm just got to first give props to this defense. This defense is legit. They are legit. The way we could be so multiple on the back end, figuring out a tough offensive opponent, mobile quarterback, Jason Dart, all these weapons. I mean, we still got things to work on, but, that defense is legit. And I just think, Milroe, if he could go back and do it, he probably would have hit Burton in the flats and instead of throwing it in double coverage. But, guys, we love 10 and 13 points on the board, whether it's officiating, mental errors. But I was just glad to see Alabama look like an Alabama team starting with our defense and being physical running the ball.
Dan, what'd you see, brother?
Yes, man. How about that defense, man? And I like the aggressiveness from the offense in the second half. I thought we saw a more aggressive play calling from Tommy Rees. First half was terrible, but the second half, I think we asserted our will, in the second half, and we let the big guys do what they're recruited to do. That's dictate and affect the pace of the game. So we let the big boys eat this game, and that really stood out to me.
Chris.
I almost grabbed my keys and drove up to Tuscaloosa the first half.
Oh, damn.
And I was gonna meet Dan and Matt in the end zone.
We gotta stop by Gillette first.
You gotta stop by Gillette.
We're gonna be waiting by the entrance like this.
Yeah.
Tommy Rees to get off the field.
Yeah.
Come out the booth. But that second half was flat out dominant, man. That showed signs of what we could be, what we can be. So I was just excited. I was just excited that the defense closed it out, man. Like Dallas Turner, he was non-existent first half. Second half, he and Braswell woke up and they were terrors off the edge, So and what was also encouraging was when Deontay Lawson went down, the level of play increased at the linebacker.
Who are you telling?
Campbell.
Man. Wait till we get Jefferson out there.
Yeah. And Terry Arnold's looking like an All-American.
Yeah, let me say this.
Hey, don't forget another guy who's looking like an All-American is Malachi Moore.
Yeah,
this don't underappreciate what he's doing right now.
Thorpe finalist, in my opinion.
Yeah, right, definitely. But let me say this, guys. Hot take: Kendrick Blackshire might be our best linebacker, and I'm not saying that lightly, man.
I agree. I can see that.
Real quick before Lucian goes, we got a super chat from user error $4.99. The team finally coming together. What's astounding, they can only turn up the heat from here. It can
Right.
be championship caliber if they want it to. Agreed. Lucian, you got the mic.
So we're going to talk about my defensive players of the game real quick, and everybody that watched this game knows Tim Keenan was in the backfield all game long.
Yes.
That's my defensive lineman of the week right there, flat out. Out. The dude showed face. I seen 96 in the backfield more than I seen the number. He was trying to run Jackson down the whole time.
Right.
He's one of them guys that need to keep building on this performance right here. That's a base performance for him to be all SEC honors by the end of the season because he got that push. That's the only lineman I've seen so far from our interior that actually scared that did something.
Well, I think Otis played well as well.
He did. Yeah. You could tell the difference.
But as far as our linebackers go,
listen, and they weren't calling holding penalties in the first half. I was like,
they don't call holding penalties on
Alabama players. What's going on?
Like that dude flipped him over, and they still didn't call holding. I'm like, so he gets hip tossed, no holding,
and no holding penalty.
Yeah, no holding.
Right,
it's crazy. Braswell turned his showed out today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some key plays, guys. I know you have a couple that you want to throw out there. First and foremost, it was a huge play, and we actually figured out that he's still on the team. That came from Ja'Cory Brooks with the block punt. It set us up on 1st and goal from the 1.
Oh my gosh!
Of course, Tommy Reese didn't know how to football and decided to get in that formation.
Did Tommy Reese get to the stadium before 5 o'clock?
Can I say?
I'm asking.
Hey,
I was watching the first half. It didn't look like he was present in the stadium until like halftime.
Hey, real quick, we got Don Parker, $5. Finally, we got about 10 minutes of joyful murder ball. Run the ball, Reese. Roll Tide.
Right.
Then we got D Pickett right after that. Didn't say Proctor's name all game.
Right. That's a good thing.
So there is growing up there. But yeah, Ja'Cory Brooks, for whatever reason, has been absent, but he shows up in a big way on a very pivotal down. And then let's go to the second half. I think you guys can all jump on this wagon. After Jalen Milroe has faced so much adversity, some of which was self-inflicted all day, he stays in the pocket, gets absolutely destroyed, and finds the freshman Jalen Hale for the big touchdown. That was a turning point of the game,
Chris.
folks.
What did I tell y'all on the show? What did I tell y'all on the show?
And Kendrick Law finally got a ball thrown to him.
Right.
Bro.
I told you, hey,
it's just that we're loaded at the slot.
He's the next great one, man. He is the
he has it.
One.
Can I go
ahead,
Lucian?
Matt.
You go, Lucian.
I feel like Jalen Milroe, and I went back at halftime. I'm not the fan that watches the halftime show. I went back and watched the first half. If he hit his
of the game
in third look, Jermaine Burton. I mean, I know we've all said this before. He's open all the time, but Jermaine Burton.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
And not even on that interception. If he'd have led Kendrick Law was behind that linebacker. That's a touch. I'm just like, Jalen, just come off your first read, just a little bit more, like because once he went through his progression, he was able to hit wide open receivers, and they made plays for him. So I think that's Tommy Reese not getting him comfortable with the scheme. Again, I'm harping on Tommy Reese. I'm not putting any of this blame on Jalen. This is totally Tommy Reese's fault. Brother, get out of the booth, go down there and talk to the young man, because hearing that in the headset, all he's thinking is like, okay, I made a mistake. I got to hit Jermaine Burton on this next play because I heard this in the headset. I missed it. No, the offensive coordinator needs to go down and have him in his face and let him know exactly what he wants to do. Because a headset to the field is not communication to me, especially when you're breaking in a new quarterback. You need to give him all the opportunities he can to be successful. And I kind of think that they're not doing that right now.
Oh,
I kind of agree. That's a good point.
This is a good comment here, guys.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I thought the same thing. I like maybe that's a play that could spark us.
And you know what else? Like, to your point, Lucian, like I don't remember, Matt. You probably can agree with me on this. I don't ever remember my defensive back coach was in the booth when I came out the field. They'll tell us stuff, but I don't ever remember anything my defensive back coach ever told me in my headset. But I remember those sideline butt chewings.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You come back slow. You want to limp back to the sideline.
You know what I'm saying? So it's something different when the coach is right there next to you than hearing it on the headset. It's kind of like you're off on spring break with your friends. Your parents are like, "Don't do too much partying. Don't do too much."
You're like, "Yeah, okay,
Mom, okay, Dad, I got you. I love you. Okay, bye." You know, that's what the headset is equivalent to.
It's great. That's a great analogy.
So it's more like Lucian said, get out that booth, man. Lane got out the booth. Didn't Sark get out the booth? Sark was on
the sidelines.
We were the most successful offensively. Our coaches were right there.
Because you can look them in the eye.
Calling it, man.
Howell, does Tommy Reese know what to do? He's not on the field. And I'm kind of questioning, in the first half, I'd say absolutely not. Hell no. Go back to Cinder. But second half, something happened, and all of a sudden, he was in his bag. He was settling in. Jalen was settling in because of it.
Smart.
And the Jalen Milroe that we all expected showed up in the second half, completely different player.
Yeah, I want to say, let's shout out to Sherman Williams. I told Smooth last night our defense is going to show. I'm glad to see us moving in the right direction. Roll Tide. I agree, our defense moving in the right direction, but I think this is a good building block for our team moving forward. Milroe had a pick. He can learn from that. He didn't play the best game, but he still got to win. Our offense, I think Reese knows, kind of have an identity, what we can do. Especially with the quarterback runs. Now I just need Reese to be more creative. When you're running those quarterback runs, why don't you fake it, have them drop back and throw it deep? It's so much we can do, but our defense, Malachi Moore, Blackshire, Braswell, I mean, them some straight dog. Blackshire, this kid is just every
Blackshire and Campbell need to start.
Yes, you're right.
He's been a dog. He's got so many tackles for losses, everything. So
bringing him off the bench.
Yeah, I'm just proud of this thing. Oh, and
our bench linebackers are better than our starters.
Right.
Real talk.
They're hungry.
Will Riker
Campbell and Blackshire have been doing it.
Yeah. And they ain't afraid to take on linemen, big linemen. They're not afraid at all.
Hey, can we get a game ball to the tight end room?
God, no kidding. Yeah, can we start with Robbie Oots? My Lord.
No.
Welcome to the show, pal. Glad to get you on the field. That was awesome.
I'll give the game ball to Dupree, but Robbie Oots blew 3 blocks early on. That got us
he did.
Yeah. So
he did.
Yeah, I'll give it to Dupree.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Nyblack because he blocked his ass off, and Danny Lewis blocked.
Yeah.
But again, why is Tommy Reese going away from the middle of the field? That was so open all night.
Those crossing routes was open. That's what he hit Jalen Hale on.
Exactly.
Real quick,
but them tight ends was open on the.
Breaking news. I just found out the reason the defense got better, they actually had a mentor on the sideline in the second half.
Yeah, Jesse Williams. I was tweeting.
No, Reuben Foster.
Oh, wow. He might be.
They got a little bit of that get right in the second half, and that would be a great motivator right there.
Hey, did he just walk in the locker room, busted the door open like SWAT? Listen here.
Yes, he did. And he had Newport.
This ain't about to go down.
Newport short.
Until all those fan bases that they have so much to say about Bama and yada, sweep around your own front door. Because I saw a lot of teams struggling today. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody struggled.
You know what I'm saying? Sweep around your own front door before you come from Bama.
Foster might find him a player development position. Saban to hire him in the
This is how does something like that.
I mean, yeah, did, but these players weren't locked in, so hire Reuben Foster. They'll be smoking Newports and getting targeting. Why was our running back the only one to get a targeting penalty? That's the second year in so many years the only targeting penalties we're getting is from our running back and wide receiver. That's a problem.
Peter Golden.
Peter, I don't know that. Hey, Campbell could have gotten one, questionable, but that was a good hit though.
I'm a little disappointed, guys. With Jam going out, not because of what he did. I mean, props for that hit. That's a football hit.
Yeah,
That's an alpha. That's an alpha male hit.
I'll
Love
take
it.
that.
But I thought,
Jerry got thrown out.
I surely
He's like, I
thought
hit
with him going out, that means we see a little bit of Justice Haynes, and he still is MIA. So I'm wondering if he's 100% right now. Is that why we're not seeing him being utilized properly?
He's not the only one. I'm also worried about where was Kobe Prentice
going in motion.
Where was Kobe Prentice?
I will say this. I do think Tommy Rees, when we were in the red zone, we do got to improve on red zone defense because all the Ole Miss was doing in the first half was dropping back in zone, and we could have easily just ran zone beaters with little pivot routes, whatever, and it would have been easy throws for Jalen Milroe. But I think, this is like I said, I think this is a good building step for us to move forward.
Let me say one thing.
Hit this.
What's the Milroe's dimension to get better development process? And yes, also one time for Caleb Downs. Exactly. And I'm gonna add on to that point. Justin, let me ask you this. What year is Jalen Milroe?
Ask me.
What year is Justin Milroe? I mean
Jalen Milroe?
Jalen Milroe. I'm sorry.
He's a redshirt sophomore, sir.
What year did AJ McCarron start at Bama?
Redshirt sophomore.
Exactly. When did AJ McCarron look like AJ McCarron?
Around the end of the redshirt sophomore year.
Yeah, about halfway through the season that year.
How many stars does Jalen Milroe have under his belt?
3.
4, sorry. That's a very good point. And I think that so many fans are missing that mark. We've been so spoiled with guys like Mac Jones, Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, especially Tua Tagovailoa, a guy that is a once every 10-year type of player coming off the bench and doing what he did to win a national championship. I guess that's what we expect now. But I'm sorry, you can't expect a guy who's only got 4 stars to come out and be all world. There's got to be some level of consistency.
Yeah, repetition.
And repetition, yeah.
His first start, his first action was against Arkansas, right? First extended action last year.
Yeah.
Then his first start was against A&M. Compare that start against A&M to the start today. You see progress?
I see a lot of progress.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he made his mistakes, but I see a tremendous progress. He bounced back. What was really impressive to me is, unlike the Texas game, he figured out how to get out of quicksand.
And he got to his third progression.
And can I say this? Tommy Rees must have been listening to the Final Whistle, which is one of the best shows on the Bama Standard on Tuesday nights.
Heard that.
Hey, I put a bug in his house to kind of play it while he's asleep, and he
listen
while he's
good.
Night, so maybe.
Listen, he called he played to Jalen Milroe's strength, quarterback runs, quick passes. We saw a jet sweep. We saw a pistol. Only thing I think we can go back and do is get in the I formation on the 1 yard line.
Oh yes, get on the center.
Why did we not run elephants?
And then
put them big defensive tackles in there and
Jaheim Otis, bring him in there. Hey, Jesse Williams was on the sideline. He could have been in the coach's ear and like, look, bro, this is what we need to do.
Keenan and Jaheim Otis, and we scored a touchdown right there.
Right,
and dare somebody to come up on you.
Right, that's how we did it with Ashawn and Jaron.
Exactly.
Deron and Quinnen. We need to do it with you know what I'm saying? It's not hard.
Let me ask each one of you this. What was the most impressive takeaway that you took away from today? Just one thing. And we're gonna go around. Just one thing. What was the most impressive takeaway?
Where we starting?
Matt, and on the way to Dan to you, Lucian, and I'll close it out.
I'm gonna say I saw Saban get mad.
Number one.
Yeah. Saban mean again. He was chewing folks out. I was like, thank you, God.
You heard about the shirts, Matt.
We got them coming. Number 2, I saw energy on the sideline from guys that weren't even in the game. They were just pumping up, hyping up the crowd. And our defense, Malachi Moore, I mean, this guy is sensational. I just can't give it enough. Dan, your thoughts?
Man, I think I one thing that since you only give me one thing, it's the emergence of Jalen Hale.
Woo!
Hey guy, he
a problem.
I don't want to say it, man, but golly, man, this guy, he kind of give me Devontae Smith. I like it. I like the way he high points the ball. He goes and get it. He's so crisp in his routes. I really like the guy.
He was a 5-star for a reason.
Yeah,
Justin.
let's do acknowledge.
Oh, yes.
Don Parker, $5. I know we have been giving heat to the O-line. How would you guys rate their individual and unit performance today? Roll Tide. P.S. Auburn lost.
I love how he didn't spell Auburn right too.
That's perfect. I'll
That's
start.
how we spell it.
I'll answer the question first, and we'll go around the room. We'll go to Lushawn, then Chris, then Dan, then Matt, and then we'll get back to our initial question. So we put the fans first here. First half, I would definitely give the offensive line a D at best, because they were back to their miscommunication woes and just letting guys through like a turnstile and just looking absolutely lost. But then if you go to the second half as a unit, they came together. I feel like the play calling changed too, which put them in a better position. And I felt like they became alphas. They, for the first time this year, imposed their will against the defense. And that was the biggest difference in the game. Lushawn?
I'm gonna highlight a different position group, which I have harped on.
We're gonna answer that question. How do you rate the offensive line?
Well, I'll give the offensive
since he paid
line
us.
yeah, you're right. I'll give the offensive line like a B- grade, because they came back and actually fought in the second half. I felt like Justin said, there was lack of communication, and it honestly looked like a little bit of lack of effort. Like they were lackadaisical in the first and the second quarter. They thought that they could just, again, focus on their physical traits to just get the job done. And that freshman kind of took it to a lot of them. And I think in the second half, Saban let them know, like, listen, y'all gonna have to play like men, because this young man, this little boy is upstaging you guys. You guys are gonna need to get together.
Chris, get off Monopoly, sir.
No, I'm not on Monopoly. I do the offensive line. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking the first half, because we look confused a little bit. But you didn't hear Caden Proctor's name. But something's telling me Ken Wisenhunt got into that the offensive huddle at halftime.
That's a good.
And kind of made some simple, because his big thing was simplifying for the offensive line. He made things simpler when he was with the pros, and that's what I felt like he did. I believe he had something to kind of some say today, and
something changed.
Something changed, yeah.
Something definitely changed, because they were actually like,
moving
like people,
simplified things up, man. But I think that, man, like I said, I always said, run blocking isn't a problem. Didn't McClellan finish with 100 today? What was his total?
Yeah, 105.
105.
Hey, he might be the best running back in the SEC. I mean, the way he breaks down.
No. Justin's been saying that, though. I give Justin that. He's been saying that all off season.
Shouts out to Justin Riley.
Shouts out to Justin Riley on that.
We the first for everything.
Right.
But to answer the question, I give them overall a B+ because of the first half. If they would have had it would have been an A. That have been a little sharper first half, but they made up for it second half. So I give them a B+ and had 100-yard rush.
I'm just glad Alabama's not peaking. Like, I feel like this team, if we continue to get better each week and week in and week out,
we can be dangerous.
October.
We're gonna be dangerous by time October, November.
In October.
When it's most important needed. You know what I'm saying? So if we can continue to improve, we got Mississippi State next week. Get ready for that road game. And then go, who we got after that?
Is it Arkansas or Texas A&M?
A&M.
A&M.
Yeah.
And then Arkansas, then Tennessee.
We'll be
I
ready.
think this was such an important for us, a good building block. So
how do you rate the offensive line per this
offensive line? I
$5?
give him about a C. I give him about a C, C+, C-.
Ooh, great tough. We had a 100-yard rusher, Matt.
Yeah.
I ranked tough, man. We had how many sacks we gave up?
We didn't give up too many sacks. It was a lot of them was Milroe's fault.
The one when he left the pocket, that was his. That was definitely on him.
I give him a B-.
Okay.
Dan, that's you. And then we'll go back to the initial question that Chris asked before Don decided to give us some money.
Thank you, Don.
Overall, I would give it a B. I think we did a better job in the second half, but that's the thing, that's why you stick with the run, because I don't care who you are. When a 350-pound lineman get to leaning on you several times in the game, we're still in the game where we're able to still run the ball. That 350 pounds gonna start feeling like 700 pounds leaning on you.
Mhm.
You know, so that's why it's important to stay in the game and stay ahead of the chains and everything. And one thing I want to just put out here on the table for y'all. What do y'all think if we just flip flop McLaughlin and Dalcourt?
No, hell no.
No,
At least-
we've already seen
No,
Dalcourt at center. No, thank you,
no,
sir.
The reason why I say that, Dan, the answer to that is because at least McLaughlin gets some sort of push.
Yeah, he gets pushed, but his thing is the
He
youth.
can't snap. He just can't snap worth shit.
Yeah.
Man, did you
Hey,
see-
how about you let Dalcourt snap from the guard?
Did you just see Matt Caddell backdoor us? He just dipped.
He just started got out here with quickness.
Matter be back. He probably had to go. Daddy duty calls.
A shout out to Surgeon 199. You have to grade this game in 2 halves.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, I don't know where we were in the pecking order as far as I think you got to me. As far as my biggest takeaway, I got a 1A. My biggest takeaway was seeing that Jalen Milroe could escape quicksand and rise to the occasion when it counted. Like I said, that big hit he took, stayed in the pocket, got destroyed, and got it to the freshman. In the most pivotal part of the game, it turned everything around for us. So that, to me, was a Jake Coker moment. The second takeaway, or 1B, would be just what Dan said. We were running the ball. We had the hot hand. Jase had the hot hand, and we didn't go away from it. We just kept pounding and pounding. And we do that, good things happen. So where were we in the order, Chris?
We didn't get Lucian, I don't think.
All right. Lucian, what was your biggest takeaway?
The fight that I saw from most of the team in the second half, especially early on in that third quarter. I feel like Saban sent a message to the team, and hopefully the upperclassmen sent a message, because Dallas Turner turned it on. Chris Braswell stepped his game up. I felt the defense took it as a chip on their shoulders that Jackson Dart was leading the SEC in like every offensive passing, rushing, yards per quarter, and basically every offensive stat in the SEC. And I felt like our defense stepped to the occasion, especially once Lawson went down. But honestly, once Lawson went down, I felt like our linebackers had better communication between Blackshire and Campbell, because those dudes felt like they were moving, they was hitting. Marshall played a good game too. I'm still kind of confused why we haven't really seen Justin Jefferson. Because I feel like
names you just said in
front of name you just said.
But I'm hearing playbook too is the issue. But yeah, Lucian, to your point, when he went down, I actually got a sense of peace, because I felt like we're going to elevate our play with the guys who can come in in relief for him.
Well,
and
plus,
it paid off.
I don't think Lawson being out in the spring, I feel like Blackshire and Campbell got a good dose of playing with each other. So they feel very comfortable in being out there side to side, because if you looked, like I pay attention to, especially the defense communicating. When Marshall and when Lawson and Campbell were out there, you kind of felt they were exchanging hand signals. But when Blackshire and Campbell were out there, they just looked at each other. You seen they said a couple words, and it was on, and we got a tackle for a loss. So I feel like maybe 40 and 30 is the way to go, especially if Lawson is hurt for an extended period of time.
What you're seeing is we got the second coming of Reggie Ragland and Reuben Foster.
I'm not going to say that, because they got. I mean, listen, them two dudes. I was on podcast earlier with one. I was talking to Reuben on Twitter on the other. Those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But I feel if anybody has a chance on our team to actually be an imposing Alabama linebacker, I feel like those two are the beginning factors. Yeah. Because they showed something today. I mean, they fought at home. Like, I saw some players on our team, I'm not going to name names, early in the first quarter, they looked like they gave up. But then you saw players that you might not have actually seen them, like Terran Arnold. Yes, Terran Arnold will make a mistake, but that dude is a fighter.
He's going to fight when he's making a mistake.
He kind of remind me of Cyrus Jones a little
Yeah.
bit. He give up a big play and doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was
Cyrus Jones and Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah.
The monster Cyrus Jones and Marlon Humphrey, because he got that Marlon Humphrey attitude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might have beat me, but you ain't gonna beat me unless I want you to beat me.
Right.
And honestly, I'm taking Terrion over Kool-Aid because Terrion come up and will pop you.
He reminds me of Kareem Jackson.
Oh, I like a great comparison. That's good.
Damn
Good
it,
stuff, Chris.
Chris, you always one step in what I'm thinking about.
Or Daquan Menzie, who watches our show.
Menzie was a power corner. Like Menzie, man, he was an All-American for a reason. That dude didn't give up nothing in the slot.
Nothing. A damn thing. DQ. Hey, we got a few people to get to here. B Jamin. What's funny is now a lot of media is saying Ole Miss is just a mediocre team after Bama won. They weren't saying that before the game. And first of all, if you're going to sit there and do that, you know, media that's media being media. They're not going to give Bama credit for one, and two, they're disrespecting Ole Miss. I'm sorry, Ole Miss is a quality team. They are good.
Like I just said, Jackson Dart was leading in every offensive
absolutely,
category
and they can still finish 11-1. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. I feel like they're at another level, and let's be quite honest. Their top playmakers, Trey Harris, Jordan Watkins was good. Caden Priestgorn and Zachary Franklin were all a little bit limited today, so they weren't at 100%. So that played into it too. This is a very good team, so don't disrespect them. Lane Kiffin is going to have them finish strong. So, but media is going to be media. They don't want to give Bama credit for anything.
Desmond Howard said we were going to lose, so I guess he's picking us to lose every week now.
Yeah, but this is a guy who always picks Michigan every year to be in the Final Four regardless.
But they don't play nobody. They played Rutgers today. That's their toughest game for Ohio State.
But good gosh. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry.
Crazy. But my biggest takeaway was the pressure that the defensive line applied today. They literally applied pressure, man. I was in that front, just the whole front, the defensive line and our two edge rushers. Like I am
3 guys.
I am so. Who else?
I'm only gonna say 3 guys.
This is where our players are game at the end.
Oh, you can name more than 3. You can name Braswell. You can name Alex Turner, Tim Keenan, and Otis. Otis played a very good game.
Otis, we got pressure up front today. We brought that pressure.
Payne played a little bit.
Yeah. But I think that
Tim Smith. You know how we leave him out.
Yeah, Tim Smith got a sack. I just love what I saw, and another takeaway is like Seth McLaughlin needs to get out on the field 20 minutes every day before practice and just snap, and stay 20 minutes after practice and just snap. Like seriously, like Devontae Smith used to take 100 jugs, 100 catches from the jug machine every day after practice. That's why his hands were so great. Right. Dude, I mean, who couldn't get better after getting 100 catches after practice?
It's funny you say that though, because there was 2 receivers that on Instagram that be showing that they put in that work. And it's going to be interesting, the name before what you just said. It's Jalen Hale, and the last one to do that I saw on Instagram was Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, I'm pretty sure, was a Biletnikoff winning wide receiver.
Yes.
So what does that tell Alabama wide receivers? Put that
jug on those jugs.
Amari Cooper, jug work.
Hey, Dan,
Calvin Ridley,
Dan tell you, Cooper probably was the most it was a long time. It was a hard judge between Jeudy and Cooper. But Dan saw we in person, like Cooper ran routes like I've never seen before. Yeah. Like we watched him against Missouri in the SEC.
That foot in the dirt. I mean,
how he gets out of his breaks, man. Like you can't cover that, man.
At all.
He's like probably the best one of the top 3 wide receiver route runners in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this comment here. We got a few of them I want to address. Yes. USMC Marine. Ooh, rah. Hey guys, are we at least finding our identity?
I think
I feel like we're starting. I think the stubbornness is wearing off, and we're starting to get to what we are meant to do. So I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, because our identity, we're running the ball, man. We're running the ball. The second week in a row, we had 100-yard rusher, and it wasn't the same guy. So we can get pushing and run the game, and then a downfield passing once again. Is there? Burton is going to catch at least one ridiculous downfield catch every week.
But he's open 80% of the time.
He's open. He's open like on IHOP. I mean, I'm
Right.
sorry, Waffle House.
Hey, and shout out to the wide receivers. I know
Right.
as a group how
Yeah, we got
frustrated
on
they
them.
must be with all the negativity coming their way on the off season, but then also too, just with the frustration of not finding the quarterback situation shored up, having the offensive line limiting what the quarterback can do, not quitting, not giving up, and just waiting until their moment. Today, their moment was here, and they showed up at the biggest time. And I really like these guys going forward. I think we're starting to find those wide receivers, and that starts with Jalen Hale. You think we got Kendrick Law involved? Kendrick Burton's been that dude all year. I
Listen,
feel like now that we find the play calls that are working to our strengths, we're going to see a lot more from those three.
Kobe Prentice was
Hey
so
Jimmy,
open.
let me tell you actually something, Jimmy. I hope you're trolling or just joking or being sarcastic because
Ding ding.
we just beat a ranked undefeated Ole Miss team that everybody said we were going to lose to. So you can't have it both ways.
He's
You know what I'm
trolling.
saying? Yeah. No, he should have put that in quotation marks or whatnot because like
Jimmy's a Vanderbilt fan.
not saying they're not calling nobody trash.
No, he's a Vanderbilt fan. Look at his Twitter.
I'm going to put this in perspective real quick. I think our mentality up until this point has been trash. I think we've been focused on the wrong things. I think we've been selfish. We haven't been buying into the process. But as far as our ability and our talent, we're Bama. But we got to lose that toxic mentality we've had, which is limiting us. If we can get rid of all that and we can be Bama like we were in the second half the rest of the season, I like our chances. And real quick, before Lucian goes, we got a super chat. Crimson Kings, 199. Boys showed out in the second half. Proud of them. Roll damn Tide. Go ahead, Lucian.
This damn name Crimson King.
I'm gonna highlight one player right now, and I feel like this dude might actually be the captain of the team and probably was the reason we won the game today. Malachi Moore. Right? So if you look back at his player history, he was probably the only one in this locker room that could say he has a hat to hang when it says living up to that Bama standard of playing Alabama football. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if our defense would actually just follow his example, because you could tell our secondary follows his example. Yeah. But if our defensive line and our linebackers played to his standard, because he loves this university, and that I feel like that is what's lacking in all aspects of this Alabama football game. We just watched Will Riker get 3 penalties for kicking a ball out of bounds. That ain't Will. That ain't Will. It didn't cost us the game, but in the spec that we are Alabama, we're going to grade that. So I just kind of feel like that the locker room just needs to hyper focus on their goals for the week, and then we'll be successful. They need to stop doing these NIL deal videos through the week. They need to stop focusing on the outside thing. I'm going to quote Jalen Hurts because he is Alabama right now.
All right.
You keep the main thing, the main thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what the biggest problem in the locker room right now. I don't think a lot of these football players are keeping the main thing. They're getting distracted. They're getting rat poisoning in there. And then by the time Wednesday, Thursday come to practice, they're not mentally focused and they're going to make mistakes.
Let me tell you though, Lucian, that's just not at Alabama. That's everywhere, man. That's on the high school level too. That's all over the college. You know what I'm saying? But you had to expect this to come when Neil got approved by the NCAA. It was like those guys deserve. They deserve what they get, but I feel like the NCAA went about it like horribly.
For sure.
You know, about how they're giving the players their money. You know what I'm saying? Like I said they should have just taken their NIL, whatever their NIL earnings, and give it to them after their eligibility is up. But at the same time, you get a certain percentage of it, throughout your college. Because players be walking around $3, $4, $5 million in their bank account while on.
No, I mean, you can't, like what Tom Brady said to Shador, like there's never been a college player that's in the Hall of Fame right now that was driving around living the luxury life in college because you live football. and these kids ain't living football in their college careers. And I think it's
What
eventually
convinces me?
longevity.
Neil
'Cause they-
money. Where can I get on the field the fastest to make this Neil money? That's what they're thinking.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Like we said in our
Justin.
podcast before, it's not so much about winning anymore. It's about getting the NIL. It's about getting those endorsements and then getting to the NFL. Winning is just something that is an extra bonus that comes along the way to these guys. So that's where we veered off the path, and it's made a big difference in level of play. So before we close up, guys, let's look ahead to next week. We finally started playing like Alabama again. We got a big win against a ranked opponent, like you say, Chris, not downplaying Ole Miss at all. And if anyone does, they need to reassess football or their knowledge of football. So what is Alabama's response? Going on the road to Mississippi State, late game, 8 p.m. kick. How do we stay motivated? How do these kids respond, especially with the mentality issues we've had as of late? Lucian, we'll start with you, but then we'll go to Chris, and then we'll get to Dan.
This shouldn't be any different from any other week for a lot of these players. I realize that, every week is going to present a different challenge, but at the same time, every single one of these dudes signed on the dotted line to play for the University of Alabama. So they should know they're about to step into the gauntlet, so they better bring their hat and their lunch, and they better pack an extra lunch because ain't nobody going to give this to us. But rest assured, Alabama Nation, I'm going to say this to you right now. We're still taking everything from everyone. We ain't losing another SEC game. I'm going to say it right here. We're still going to win the SEC title. And you can book me on that. That's all I got, Justin.
That's powerful, Chris.
I'm with you 100%. Like Matt said earlier, thank God we are not peaking right now. I just expect us to continue to get better. I expect us to be able to run the ball next week and Milroe to continue to make plays downfield, have a smothering defense. And if our offense just can get better week to week, man, by the time we get A&M, because I fully expect us to be focused because our defense is going to keep us in the game against A&M. I truly believe that's going to be we're going to ride the coattails of this defense until we get to Tennessee, and that's when we're really going to put on the show. Those revenge games, that's when we're really going to put on the show. And I say by the time we get to Baton Rouge, no, they come to us. They come to us,
sir.
After a bye week, that's when you're going to see the first of the Bama's full potential. I'm calling it now.
Hey, that's gonna be a war for our offensive line because they got a defensive line that.
Yeah, but
I mean, watch them play.
It's nothing that we haven't seen before because Texas. We saw it against Texas. It's just our offensive line can handle anybody. It's just the fact that
Texas defensive line ain't got shit to candle to hold the Texas A&M. I watched them today.
Oh, you talking about Texas A&M? I thought you was talking about LSU.
No, Texas A&M got the best defensive line in the country.
Texas A&M defensive front is okay, but they
don't have linebackers.
It's still Texas A&M. Like we just got to do what we got to do. Like you said, keep the main thing these next few weeks, and we'll be fine, man. I just don't think
the main thing.
I don't think that Texas A&M can just move the ball up and down the field all game on us not on a Kevin Steele defense, maybe a Pete Golden defense, but not a.
Speaking of Pete, we haven't heard from him. We didn't hear from him.
Where was Pete?
Man, I sent him the invite.
He was talking all this. Smack on Twitter. I ain't heard him since Tuesday.
Boy, I cringed that one play when who was that? Roydell Williams or Jase McClellan was so wide open in the flats and picked up that first down.
Jase McClellan.
Oh, I cringed. I was like, I felt for the old man that play. I was like, oh man, that's the old Pete rearing his head.
Was Tommy Reese not watch Alabama?
All
he had to do was throw screen passes all night, and we scored 70 on him.
Hey, y'all cutting into Dan's time, and Dan gets angry when you cut into his time.
That's right. You won't like him.
I'm sorry, Dan.
I'm sorry, Dan.
But yeah, Dan, your thoughts on the contest coming up? We got Mississippi State on the road. Those cowbells get loud late at night. How do you like the mentality? Tell us your thoughts.
Let me tell you, it starts Monday. It starts with our mentality and practice Monday. Let's build on it. Let's continue to keep this same mentality and intensity, what I've been talking about, forever. Let's keep this intensity and physicality. Let's continue to build on it because guess what? Next week, that's just a regular game to us. But for Mississippi State, it's their Super Bowl. You know, so we're gonna get their best shot. They're gonna give, you know, all year. We're gonna see it. So build it. Let's not go in there thinking just because with Bama, we're gonna go in there and just dominate. Let's go in there and actually do it. You know, let's be physical. That's what I want.
Dang, Dan. You got that
Damn.
internet provided through Leapfrog, y'all.
Hey, go over to hey, Chris.
That's
I'm
a
gonna need
glitch
you
in
to give a guest profile out to your brother so he can get on some good Wi-Fi because I missed the last 30 seconds of that.
I'm loaning him, man. Oh, y'all missed all my good stuff.
I actually,
We
Chris
did.
was pulling your cable plug out while you
Come
were
walk
doing
outside
that.
and use my Wi-Fi.
Dang.
I'm going to go through my points real quick, and then we'll give our players the game and our closing remarks. As far as Mississippi State, Dan, I disagree. This cannot be a regular game. I think right now, given our mentality, we need to treat every game as if it's a one-game playoff because it essentially is. We can't afford another loss, and we needed to take every game seriously and play like we're in the playoff, regardless of who it is. We have identity issues. Well, at least we had identity issues until the second half today. But a team that is really having identity problems is Mississippi State. They are not comfortable because their coach, for whatever reason, has decided to go back to Mississippi State ball. That means bully ball, bruising backs, hit you in the mouth, and running over folks. Well, the problem is they don't have the personnel to do it yet. They still have the air raid players that fit that type of offense. And it's completely thrown them out of whack, and it's thrown Will Rogers out of whack. So unless they decide to go back to what works for them, that's something we can really capitalize. But, yeah, I believe that we need to celebrate tonight, 25-hour rule, but then be serious, build on that. This should be a building block type of game because right after Mississippi State, we're going to College Station. That's a difficult place to play. Real quick, Don Parker, $2. Thankfully, we didn't lose to Pete. No kidding. By the way, when we have tough games or we lose games, y'all blow up the chat. Now people are starting to leave in the middle of the show. I saw the numbers go down. Come on now, I need that same energy when things aren't going our way to be on the shows where we're winning. So no, but yeah, we appreciate everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. Show us some love, and we appreciate everything you guys do. All right, guys, let's go around the room. Let's give our players of the game, offensive and defensive. Of course, Lushawn, you're going to start out first. Then Chris, Dan, I'll give mine, and then we'll move on to our closing segment. Go ahead, Lushawn.
Are we going offense, defense, and special teams?
Yes, offense and defense, special teams, yes.
All right, my offensive player of the game is going to have to be Jase because I felt that he just played tough. He broke tackles, and he refused to go down. Flat out, I feel like Jase was that dude today. Defensively, I'm going to have to go with it's a tough one. But I've been rocking with 1-3 for a long time, so I have to go with Malachi Moore.
Can't go wrong with that, buddy.
No, it was against Malachi Moore and 30, but I'm going to have to go Malachi Moore. And on special teams, I'm going to have to go our punter.
Gosh, yes, man. He's been
booting
because
our punter was booting it, and they had zero chance to return it.
Yeah.
And in football, I know a whole bunch of our fans – this is not a shot at our fan group because at all they might not understand football. But if you have a punter that can hit it 54 yards in the air and have 4.1 second hang time and have zero net return, that is a win.
That's a win.
Huge win. Especially when we have a pass rush in the secondary that can stick with a lot of people. Now, I still need to see a lot more from our defensive line, but that's a conversation for our next cast. But yeah, definitely a Jase McClellan offensive player of the
racetrack. Somebody who's at the racetrack. Huh? I heard Dale Jr. just go by.
Yeah, well. Jase.
They gonna.
Well, there's bikes outside. I live in whatever. But yeah, Jase definitely. I'm gonna give it to our whole linebacker room because I felt like they just stepped it up in the second half. And special teams, that's our punter.
Burnip.
That's sad that Burnip's been on my player of the game every game this season. But
field position is everything, sir. Chris.
it shouldn't be at Alabama.
All right, offensive wise, I'm going co-offensive MVPs. I'm cheating a little bit.
He always does.
I'm going with Jalen Milroe. Only 4 incompletions today, 225 yards passing. 1 touchdown. You know, that bad interception was the one bad play he had, but he also hit 10 different receivers. 10 different people caught passes today. Jase McClellan averaged, he was 17 for 105.
We don't got to hit a stat.
6.2 yards per carry. Anytime you can average over 6 yards, anything over 5 yards per carry, that's great. 6.2 is great. Defensive wise, I'm going with Terry Arnold, man. 8 tackles, 2 pass breakups, an interception. Come on, man. That dude was balling today. And then special teams, I'm going with Ja'Cory Brooks because he blocked the punt. So y'all know I'm biased towards that. He kind of set the tone, even though we didn't capitalize the next play, but he still kind of set the tone that, hey, we're going to be coming all day. You know, Burnham did a hell of a job. Our kickers did. Burnham and Riker. Riker was, as far as field goals were, he sucked on the kickoffs.
Yeah, he got 3 penalties. I'm not really cool with that, but
he sucked on the kickoffs. But hey, he's still perfect on the year. Knock on wood from field goals.
Yeah,
so those are mine.
Dan.
All right. Since Chris named everybody,
literally everybody.
Don't hate.
For people that haven't been named, so offensive MVP, I'm gonna go with Jalen Hale. He had 2 catches, only 2 catches, but both of them went for 30+ yards, and one of them a touchdown. And he may have established himself as our deep threat, you know. So defensively, since Chris took Terry on, I'll go with Kendrick
Blackshire.
Came in, he stepped up, lose and tried go plays and he realized bad idea. You know, so usually, you know, it's always the guy that comes in new. You know, Lane Kiffin always does. You try to go after the first guy, you know, the new guy in, but he did a great job. You know, a couple of tackles and 1 tackle for a loss, and he arrived with physicality. Especially not many, you know, be my choice. I'm gonna give it to Jan Miller because I love the hit. I love the physicality.
Hell yeah. He shouldn't have got thrown out for that. He lowered his head. That wasn't 6 inches.
Hey, but that's what we've been asking for as Bama fans. That's what we've been waiting to see. You know,
not as a running back.
Yeah.
The last 2 targeting calls were against our running back and a wide receiver. We still have yet to see a defensive player get a targeting.
Yes, right? and that infuriates
That's
Marvin.
A problem.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I just want to see a defensive player come down on kickoff, somebody head off.
Yeah, be a bad guy. Don't worry about, you know, be a bad guy.
Be a defensive player and go take someone head off.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That ignites the whole, man. When Matt Wilson took that dude's head off, when Reuben Foster took that dude's head off, when so many of our players take dude's head off, that motivates the team. We don't play soft football. This ain't the Big Ten. And I feel like sometimes our players are tackling like we play in the Big Ten. Hit somebody. Like I told Jihad on his Instagram earlier, he posted that picture. I said, just go out and hit somebody. And what he do? He derailed Jackson Dart.
Yes, sir.
That's what needs
and
to happen.
That jersey was dirty all day long.
Damn right.
So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and give my players of the game. First and foremost, Jalen Milroe. I give it to him. Overcame a lot of adversity, especially that horrendous first half. Rose to the occasion, had his Jake Coker moment. Defensively, I'm going to go with Malachi Moore. he's been that dude all season. He hadn't slowed down regardless of what was going on. And to be honest with you, I think he is that piece of energy, that driving force in the defense that gets them ignited. So got to give it to them. As far as special teams go, got to go with Jam Miller. Love the hit. He got thrown out, but you know what? I don't mind you getting thrown out for being an alpha male, sir.
All right.
But as far as the stats, let's go ahead and go through some stats real quick. Of course, Alabama wins 24-10. Roll Tide roll. Jalen Milroe 17-21, 225 yards passing, a touchdown and 1 interception. Rushing, Jase McClellan, of course, led the way, 17 carries, 105 yards, and an average at 6.2 yards per carry and a touchdown. Jalen Hale led all wide receivers, 2 catches for 63 yards, 31.5 yards per catch and a touchdown. We love that touchdown. Jermaine Burton was the solid number 2, 2 catches for 62 yards. Great showing today, guys. Love the way we answered the bell. Looking forward to seeing how we build from this. Well, let's go around the room. Everybody tell the folks in the audience how they can find you on social media, what we got coming up next. And y'all hit the like and subscribe button. Let us know how much you love this channel. Lucian, we'll start. Then we'll go to Chris, and Dan will do his thing, and then I'll close this out.
You can find me on Twitter. It's at rrolush21. You know, Bama Nation. I'll be on there every day sharing some stuff. Also, I'm a Raiders fan, unfortunately, in the NFL, so I'll be on there tomorrow talking about our team. Instagram, Facebook, same thing. You know, we're just talking about football. It's the greatest time of year, guys. Oh, by the way, beat Golden lost.
Chris, we got Van Thor Edwards here. Chris, you just landed on Boardwalk. Wake up, Mr. Monopoly.
Van.
I love Van.
Let me get my thimble. Hey, you can find me on Facebook at Chris K. James Sr., on Instagram at CKJ Senior 32, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Coach Chris James. And you can find me on the Final Whistle Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Y'all don't want to miss this Tuesday night's episode or whatnot. Dan's gonna shake his Laffy Taffy because we hear Ole Miss less than 14. So I'm gonna shake his Laffy Taffy this. You still got those Laffy Taffy things, or I need to get you some more.
And condolences to Lane Kiffin. The whole time he's been a head coach at Ole Miss, he has yet to beat Alabama, and he's lost his chance for a while because next year we don't play Ole Miss or Mississippi State.
Yeah,
I would trade Lane Kiffin for Tommy Reese.
Yes,
and a whole bunch of other people right now.
Right now.
Right now, I'll take it.
Lane better get that defense. They had like 9 starters and seniors on that defense. It was crazy. 9 to 10.
Okay, that's okay. Lane coming to Tuscaloosa next year. He don't want to be there no more. I like his energy. Get his ass kicked, and then Saban gonna be like, "Listen, Lane,
that's right.
You were amazing before. Lane just need to come back on home."
Not today, Kiffin.
All right.
No, next year, Kiffin.
Dan. For the millions and millions of Danamaniacs, how they found you on social media?
You can catch me on X at Dan. I think Final Whistle Dan. You can catch me on Facebook, even though I use that mostly for family and friends. But
they're all your friends.
Every week, every Tuesday night, and every Saturday after the game. Right here, the Final Whistle. We're the number 1 source, y'all, for all things Bama. I keep telling y'all this. We are the number 1 source. You want to hear it, you're going to hear it here. But other than that, y'all take care, man. It's always good. Enjoy the win. Now we're going to focus on Mississippi State.
Absolutely. Yes. Follow us on all social media at the Bama Standard. We're on TikTok, that is, at the _Bama Standard. And we have the best shows with Alabama content for you on the internet, period. The Bama Standard will be on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. The Final Whistle, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. The Crimson Dynasty with Sishi Payne on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we've got a lot of great clips coming your way. But, gentlemen, we got it done today. It was in doubt. We didn't know what was going to happen, but it ended up being the way that we like it. Bama wins today soundly over the Ole Miss Rebels. Roll Tide, y'all.
Roll Tide.
Roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide.